Well, the National Quilt Museum is a museum of contemporary quilts, and by that I mean quilts that have been made since the 1970s. Many of the quilts in the collection are quilts that are traditional in style, and some of them are even reproductions of antique quilts.
The National Quilt Museum is one of the premier art museums in the United States. We have the finest collection of quilt or fiber art in the world.
The loosest definition of quilt still requires at least 2 layers of some sort of textile joined, and the layers joined by some kind of stitching. But they may be painted and embellished. You can do almost anything to a layered fabric sandwich and still call it a quilt.
We're also very involved with education. Students all over the world are part of something called the School Block Challenge. And they'll send in school blocks where they've made essentially a quilt, and they compete against other schools that do the same thing.
This is an American art form that has spread all over the world from here, and it's done in styles that are approachable by almost anyone. It's people having fun with fabric. It's quilting.
Quilting is part of the very essence of our being here in Paducah. It has pulled our community together, given us identity.
You can go anywhere in the country and tell somebody that you're from Paducah, Kentucky, and they'll say, oh yeah, you're the Quilt City, USA.
The Quilt Museum was started by Bill and Meredith Schrader, who also started the American Quilters Society, which is the for-profit corporation that runs the big quilt show in the spring.
And we basically double our population. Quilters and people who love quilting actually come to the event from all over the world. It's a great event for the city.
They behave themselves, they spend a lot of money. We love having them, and they love Paducah and come back year after year.
It's just been such a pleasure to meet the people from all over the world and make friends and talk with them and hear their experiences in the quilt world. And
on a day-to-day basis, the most people that come are cultural tourists, people who will go to art exhibits and art museums throughout the world. The second group that we get is the 21 million people who make up Quilt Nation. These are people who are involved with quilting or like to quilt at any level whatsoever.
The quilt that is behind me is one of my art quilts. It's not in any way meant to lie on a bed or be a bedspread. It's meant as a work of fine art, one of a kind. I don't sell patterns for this kind of quilt.
A lot of people perceive quilting as somehow being separate from art. They see the pieces that are around us. That really ends the discussion.
It's really a world-class art museum by anybody's standards.
People from around the globe are traveling to Paducah because they're inspired by our culture. They're inspired by the most beautiful quilts that you can find in our world.
If you come to the exhibit and you're not convinced that this is some of the finest art in the world, not just fiber art, but the nicest art in the world, period, we'll give you your money back on the spot. We have yet to give anyone their money back.